Welcome to another episode of Pursuing Wisdom. My name is Robert Davis, and today we're going to look at who is the beast from the sea. When interpreting the vision of the beast of the sea, we must realize there are four distinct visions that must agree. Otherwise, our interpretation is incorrect. Each vision must include all of the components of the previous vision, and what they symbolize has to be consistent in each vision. In other words, each vision builds upon the previous one. If not, we're twisting things to fit our own theory. Daniel chapter 2 is the base for all of the other visions. A statue of four different materials represents four different kingdoms, actually empires. Each empire is in succession of the last one. The last empire has 2 legs and 10 toes, depicting a division. The rock that is mentioned is the kingdom of God, which Jesus establishes during his first advent. Let's begin. In Revelation 13, the first beast we see rises out of the sea. The sea is significant because the other beast rises from the earth. So what is the importance or meaning of the sea? In the Bible, the sea or waters are often used symbolically to represent the Gentiles or non-Jewish people. Revelation 17 states, water or seas represents masses of people from many nations. Consequently, the beast represents 7 different Gentile nations. The beast rises or comes from the people or nations. By the description, we can see the beast is a combination of the 4 beasts from Daniel 7 plus 3 more. Even without trying to dig deeper into the vision, we can ascertain 6 of the 7 heads. We know that the kingdoms are in succession, and we also know the current head is Rome at the time of John's writing. Revelation chapter 17 states, 5 heads have fallen, 1 is, and the last one has not come yet. The beast in this vision has 7 heads and 10 horns. Each horn has a crown, and the dragon gave him his power, seat, and authority. We already know from chapter 12 the dragon represents Satan. The fact that the beast has the same number of heads and horns as the dragon tells us the beast was created in his image. The dragon gives his power, seat, and authority to the beast. Although Satan has been removed from heaven, in Revelation 12, he has not lost his place or authority on earth. Satan is the god of this world until Jesus rules in the new heaven and earth. John gave us the key to the heads and the horns of the beast in chapter 17. The 7 heads represent 7 great kingdoms in the earth, and the 10 horns are future kingdoms at the time of John's writing. 7 is the number of dispensational completion. Therefore, the 7 heads are representative of all the world's kingdoms, and the 10 horns are kings or kingdoms which will emerge from the 6th head, which is Rome. Satan currently rules the kingdoms of the world. This is in direct opposition to the kingdom of God. The beast receives power from Satan in return for its worship of him. Worship is the act of expressing reverence to someone or something. It does not necessarily imply a physical bowing in subjection. We can express reverence through our obedience to his promptings. We can conclude the first beast out of the sea represents the kingdoms of the world or governmental rule. The focus of chapter 13 is on the 6th head, which is Rome. This beast is Satan's vehicle to achieve his objectives in the earth. The ways of the world stand in opposition to the way of God. It is important to see how Satan, through the beast, induces people to do his bidding. The beast is governmental, and therefore it naturally rules over us and controls the quality of our day-to-day lives. This opposition is why John says in Revelation 13, "Here is the patience and faith of the saints." We need to follow the Apostle Paul's advice about praying for all people in authority, because we never know who or what is influencing our decision makers. Now we know why the dragon gives his power to the beast. When we see Satan giving his power to the beast, in reality, he's giving the government power to rule over our lives. The United States is not one of the beasts mentioned in the book of Revelation. However, since every kingdom or government except the kingdom of God is ruled by man, every nation is considered part of the beast system. To boil it down to spiritual terms, it is the kingdom of God versus the kingdoms of this world. You are either aligned with one or the other. The choice is yours. Where does your allegiance lie? Are you following the mandates of the kingdom of God or your country? Don't be fooled or misled. Most books on Revelation are simply rehashing traditional interpretations, and none give us any real spiritual insight. If you want a biblically sound interpretation that addresses every symbol, then read the final message, Understanding the Book of Revelation. You'll be glad you did. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, be blessed.